Welcome to Driving Change, Empowering Your Team with Google Workspace. Thanks for joining us today. Whether you're an IT leader and decision maker in your organization, or you found your way to this session because you're a learning enthusiast like I am, I'm very happy that we can hold this space together today. My name is Sarah Gasparick. I'm a change management consultant at Pythian, and for over 6 years now, I've been helping organizations of all shapes and sizes embrace and adopt new ways of working with Google. There are some powerful lessons I've picked up along the way that hopefully will inspire you and help you find new ways to empower your team with their technology as we dive into today's session. And we're going to start with some big picture items, lessons from the field, and then I'll talk to you about a few very specific features you might be able to start using right away if you're already on Google Workspace with your team. Over the years, I have found that a big part of embracing change and harnessing the power of collaboration with teams is really making sure that we empower our users to get in that driver's seat and get started. And a great way to get people making that personal choice to make a change is to have leaders around them, inspiring them and making it feel safe and exciting to take the wheel. You, as an organization leader, can model the way by optimizing your own utilization of Google Workspace. And it can be sometimes in subtle ways, like being intentional to use scheduled send so you protect your team's off the clock time. It can be more intentional, like setting standards for your team with Google Meet that we want to embrace conversation. So let's use chat, let's use raised hands because we want to hear from all voices today in this conversation. Along with optimizing your own tool use, leaders like yourselves can help socialize what we like to think of as the rules of the road for collaboration tools. So, setting some document storage expectations around using things like shared drives to just helping your team know when is the right time to be using a Meet, when is the time we want to be using Spaces. This can help your team to know how to be in the proper lane for success. And the last big picture item sometimes is the hardest. It's acknowledging that it's okay sometimes to stop and ask for directions from an expert because you've been taking on a lot and you might be feeling exhausted or at least over caffeinated. It's okay to reach out and have some help from an expert or a partner to help empower your team with your technology tools. So, with those big picture themes in place, let's get driving towards some very specific things that you and your teams can start thinking about today. And one of those items we like to call change moments. Change moments are points of transition in your organization that can inspire individuals and teams to slow down for a moment and rethink our day to day workflow. It could be because of something sweeping like a merger or acquisition, but it can also be something more subtle like someone joining your sales or marketing team. And the friction that occurs during these change moments can be leveraged as an opportunity for you to be seen as an ally across the organization because you can bring your expertise and your innovation with things like Google Workspace to help solve for some of the challenges that occur because of these change moments. I want to provide you with an example of a change moment we've been seeing a lot with my team here at Pythian. We've noticed an uptick in the last couple of years around mergers and acquisitions. Our team does a lot of projects relating to data migrations because of organizations coming together. But we're harnessing that change moment to do something different with the organization, not just migrate the data, but using this change moment to get the full organization into the driver's seat and feeling empowered to work differently with collaborative tools. So we took a manufacturing company who had grown its global presence because of mergers and acquisitions and used their most recent acquisition as a change moment to inspire the team to get in that driver's seat, deepen and improve their use of shared drives across their footprint. It was really about helping a broader team feel empowered with some new rules of the road, thanks to a change moment, to begin leveraging shared drives in ways they hadn't used before. And the result is that they're breaking down information silos that had been in place. They're freeing up information to make it more transparent to the right people at the right time. You, of course, are probably thinking about how you might be able to harness some of these change moments and model the way with your tools. And for those of you already on Google Workspace, I have a few hints for you specifically about how you can really model the way to empower your teams while also protecting the well-being of yourself and your colleagues. So we're going to move into a very brief demo showing you a couple of features in Calendar that really empower individuals to set up their calendar to protect their prime times of productivity, as well as protect those standard hours where they intend to be working, along with applying location if that's applicable for that particular team. So let's dive in and take a quick look. Within Calendar, you can set working hours and location and encourage your teams to do the same by going to the gear and clicking on settings. From here, it's as simple as spending a brief moment in the section called Working Hours and Location to establish those standardized work times, those standardized work locations that everyone else then who is able to see your calendar would be able to see and then coordinate with you accordingly. Along with setting up that quick setting, you can block times in your calendar now called focus times. I've got an example here on Friday where you are considering when you are at your best in your day, at your best in your week, and you're protecting that time for those most critical, deep think tasks that need to occur. If you model the way by protecting some of your own focus time and encouraging others to do so, we're going to see a nice bump in productivity. It's as simple as clicking and dragging on the duration of time that you'd like to have your focus time, and then clicking instead of event, we're going to select focus time. I encourage you to check those features out and start socializing them with your team right away. There's other tools, of course, that can help us model the way. In Gmail, we like things like adjusting a few settings, like your notifications or nudge, to just help you stay in the zone and never miss a beat. We love the snooze feature so that we can loop back to messages at certain times that might be more appropriate, and using that little calendar tile within Gmail to avoid running late. And of course, one more shout out for scheduled send so that we can be as respectful for other people's time as possible, still get those great ideas that we have in our mind out there. Along with modeling the way, we really encourage y'all to think about ways you can help reduce burnout with your teams through establishing some clear rules of the road with the technology you use. In many instances, we're cheering on using more meat because we know that sometimes we can lose some meaning in a written message, and that having some of the body language and intonation of our voice can help provide a clear message and maybe save you some licensing costs as well if you're using Meet instead of another video conferencing tool. There's lots of ideas here on our slide I encourage you to think about to help you really empower your teams to make the most of the time you have together, but not burn each other out. We've shared a few concrete ideas together today. I challenge you to seize the day on at least one of them and start to empower your team to make the most of the technology available to them. I want to thank you for joining our session and would challenge you to maybe stop and ask for directions if you need it. We've got a page promoted, and we'd love to have you visit and book some time to meet with my team or myself to learn a little bit more about how we can help you plan out your map for keeping collaboration going with Google Workspace.